Hello and welcome to Murphy's Garden, and this is a day tinged with a little bit of sadness but also a little bit of excitement because the garden is going to be all taken down. The start of it is going to be taken down today, so we've got one last day to enjoy it, but on the plus side a lot of the plants are going to be going into our own garden and distributed to friends and family, so that's quite nice. So before we dismantle it all a bit later on, just want to go around the garden and just record it for our own benefit as much as anything else. So we'll go around and just look at all the plants and all the features of our garden, and then I do want to do another video. I want to go around all the show ground and look at all the whole show and just extrapolate some of the features and the things that we loved about the show. It's been a fantastic show this year, really bigger than previous years I think, and so much to see in so many gardens, and I think it's feeling a lot more kind of personal because we've got to know a lot of the people and seen the show being built over the last week, so it's been really lovely having that involvement with it. So we'll start with this video and just having a look around our garden. So the centre of our garden features this doorway, and it's meant to represent the front of a house, an urban house, taking a little bit of countryside, Shropshire countryside to the city, just showing you what you can do in an urban setting. And this is a wicker arch. This is made by Daisy Askin, who's down in Telford and does willow sculptures, and she's done a fabulous job. Probably of all parts of the garden, this was probably the least stressful because Daisy is a landscape architect by background, and she completely got the brief that Olivia gave her and got it and understood it straight away and got to work on it. So she was a really reliable pair of hands. Some people have asked what the number signifies. This is the number of our stand, 237. So the flowers are just starting to go over a little bit, where we just decorated that just for adding a little bit of detail. And Daisy's also made the cat, which has been a big talking point for the garden too, and also the pot covers. And the pots contain calibrachoa, which are similar to petunias, and the advantage of these is that they don't go all slimy as petunias do. They stay nice and then they just sort of drop off when they go over, and they're much easier to look after, I find. So we've put lots of edibles near the path. We've got picking herbs, some herbs here in the pot, basil and mint and chives and things. This is creeping thyme, which I just grew from seed. We've got some little pots of succulents just dotted about. These are sempervirens, which are really easy to grow. They produce these little, kind of like little babies, which you can just pull off and pot on and add to your collection, and they get bigger and bigger and really just easy to grow. They don't need a lot of water, so that's good. Here is the grasses. I think have been really a good talking point in our garden. They're very tactile and they blow in the wind. This is called greater quaking grass for obvious reasons. It makes this lovely rattly noise when the wind blows. There's another one called Breezer. This is Breezer Maxima. There's Breezer Media, which we saw at the Chelsea Flower Show. It seems we bought some of that, but it seems to go over. It's a perennial grass, and it seems to go over a lot earlier than the Breezer Maxima. So this was the one that was looking at its best, so we didn't bring the other one. Then the other grasses we've got is Lagris ovatus, also known as bunny-tail grass. And this is a bit of a nod to the bunny rabbit problems that we had when we've been growing all these plants for the show. We had an invasion of rabbits in our garden, so this is why we were going to include it anyway, but this is just a nod to that. And then here we've got this lovely shrub. This is Pittosporum tom thumb, Pittosporum tenifolium tom thumb. And we've got here, which didn't actually flower, this is a Nuthra, Gora landimeri as it's also called, or whirling butterflies, which we've got growing in our own garden. This is a clump that we took out from our own garden, but it hasn't flowered. It's just about to, but not quite, for the show. And this is a rigoron, which we see everywhere. Everybody seems to have a rigoron, for the reason being that it's really good for just softening in between areas, nooks and crannies, really good in between stones and things like that. Then we've got some sedum. This sedum is in our own garden. This was just a bit that I split and potted on. It's got into a lovely big clump, and that will have these lovely pink flower heads. It's now called Hylotelephium. Sedum is the name it was called by, but it's now changed its name. Then we've got, what else have we got? more of the bunny tail. This is Amobium elatum, something which I've grown from seed. If you want to see more details about a lot of these plants that we grew from seed, like the zinnias and things like that, and the grasses too, I did do a video all about all of these and how to grow them and things like that. So have a look at the channel for that. We've also got more zinnias here, and the Stipa tenissima, which is the ponytail grass, which blows in the wind and just gives that feathery light feel. Another Pittosporum, and this is Pittosporum tenifolium silver sheen, which is a lovely one. It's got these purple stems, so we've used this next to the Astrantia just to bring out, see how it brings out the purple of the stem just by pulling that out with the Astrantia. This Astrantia is called Jill Richardson, and this is Achillea terracotta. And here we have Sanguisorba. So we've got 3 types of Sanguisorba. We've got this one, we've got this one, little one, it's a small one, is called Little Angel. It's got the variegated leaf. And then at the back here, we spotted this when we went to the nursery, Bluebell Nursery, and this is a white one. I can't remember the name, I'll put the name on the screen, but I didn't realise this was a Sanguisorba, but it's really lovely, and we like it because it trails over into the water and it just looks quite good. The Verbascum here is called Pink Petticoats. It's lovely. I don't know why it's called Pink Petticoats, because to me it doesn't look pink, it looks peach. But that's what it's called. And we've also got the Apple Blossom Antirrhinum. Here we've got just more repeat planting, the cream Achillea as well. That's Achillea, I'm not sure if that's, I can't remember, Achillea, perhaps Credo, I'm not sure. Then we've got this dahlia, this purple leaf dahlia, and the bloodgrass. And then behind here we've got the oak leaf hydrangea, a lovely, lovely plant, called oak leaf hydrangea because of obviously the shape of the leaf, for obvious reasons, and I've got a lovely place for that in our garden. So although Olivia is very sad that we're taking the garden apart, I'm looking at with all opportunities of where it's going to go. In the pond we've got the arum lily. This is actually from our pond, lifted from our pond. You couldn't buy a clump this big. And some more aquatics, and this is the floating moss, which is lovely, but that has to come in the winter, but I've got somewhere we can put that in our garden, but we must remember to bring it in for the winter. Some Nepeta. Nepeta is dead easy to grow from cuttings. I did do a video recently on how to take cuttings, so if you want to see how to get more plants for free, have a look at that. Really, you don't need to buy loads, you just need one little plant and lots of cuttings will come from it. A few more edibles near the path. We've got parsley, we've got thyme, we've got, these are just French beans. This one's called purple teepee, I seem to think that's called, I'm not sure if that's right. More Sanguisorba, more dill. And here, I love this. This is sweet corn, which we've grown, will go into our vegetable patch where we've been digging up the potatoes. We've now got a nice spot. So the sweet corn's been growing on in Olivia's garden and can now go into its spot at home. So everything will be reused. We've got some clematis, the little pussycat here. We've got the wreath on the door, just using all the flowers that we're growing in the garden to make a wreath. So it's just showing you how you can grow plants, and all of these plants have been growing, well, most of these annuals have been growing just this year, started off in March, and then I just dry all the plants, just turn them upside down, usually put them in our kitchen to dry, and that's a north-facing kitchen, it dries really effectively, and then they can be used to make cards or little posies and things. More of the Amobium elatum, more Sanguisorba. This is Ami majus. There's 2 types of Ami. There's Ami majus, Ami visniger, which we also grew but wasn't ready. This was the one that's looking good for the show, so this is the one that we used. More dill. This is Melina cerulean, a lovely grass which we had growing in our own garden. It was a bit of a last-minute addition. We dug that up about 2 days before the judging day and just added them, and I think they look really good. In fact, I'm going to put them somewhere better in our own garden because I think they're a bit wasted where they are. And this is Nautica macedonica, which is a type of scabious. When it goes over, it has quite nice little seed heads. Some astrantia, more astrantia. This one dug up from our own garden. We've got lots of ferns, also from our garden. This hosta, some of the hostas were from our garden, but some of them got a bit eaten by snails. So we bought this one from Eastwick Nursery, and this was perfect. And we kept it in the garage in the run up to the show, so the snails couldn't get to it. Now this is a bit of an understated shrub, but I just love it. Nobody's commented on it, but it's called Actia. It's got this dark purple leaf. To be honest, I thought it was best growing in shade. I didn't know a lot about it. We bought it at the nursery, Bluebell Nursery. It wasn't intended to go in the garden. We hadn't planned to get it, but we saw it and loved it. And I think it looks lovely here next to the hosta. However, I've since found out when I went round the floral marquee that it actually, to keep the purple colour, it should be in full sun. So this may be caused us to lose a few points because it's actually in the wrong place, as is this limonium. The limonium was planted next to the hosta. Although we made a list of the growing conditions of every plant, when we came to assemble it, particularly this area, we really struggled to get it to look right. So I think we got carried away with the colours and the form, and we forgot about the planting partners. And limonium likes sun and sort of dry and sun, and hostas like wet and shade. So although this combination looks fabulous, you wouldn't do it in your own garden because it's wrong. So that caused us to lose a few points, really annoyingly. And this grass is miscanthus, and this is morning light. I've got another miscanthus, a smaller one called Yakashima dwarf, but this one is slightly bigger. And I bought it and it had no name on it. I didn't know what it was, but it was one of you guys, or a couple of you, that told me what its name was, and it's called Morning Light, and it'll have these lovely plumes which will come a bit later in the season. We've got Nicotiana. Nicotiana is great under a tree where we've got it here. And Nicotiana has a lovely smell in the evening. It's great for attracting particularly moths, because of the colour and the white flower. This one's called Nicotiana sylvestris. It likes a woodland kind of setting. And this is more Stipa tenissima. And then I love this. This is the gypsophilia that I grew from seed, a Sarah Raven seed packet called Covent Garden. And it looks a bit like sort of sprinkling of glitter throughout the garden. I really love it. And here the echinacea. The echinacea, when we put the garden together, it wasn't in flower, but over the course of the week it's opened and it's looking lovely. And we've got it here next to this eryngium. So here underneath this tree we've got shade. So we've planted the Nicotiana, the ferns. We've got some epimedium. Actually, nobody's commented about the epimedium, but I love epimediums. Rather understated little plants, but lovely. And they do have little yellow flowers on them earlier in the spring. But one of the mistakes we made was that this eryngium got planted next to the fern, and although it is in full sun here, the idea is that if somebody took a picture of this, they are not good planting partners, ferns and eryngiums, because one likes dry sun and this likes damp shade. So that was why we lost. That was the difference between a silver gilt and a gold, I think. Now the tree is a lovely, lovely tree. This is Crataegus Persimilis prunifolia. Lovely, lovely tree. It's got blossom in the spring. It's got berries in the autumn. It doesn't get too big. Good for a small garden. This is a multi-stemmed variety that we've got, and you'll notice that it's got these huge, huge spikes, which mean that it's really good for birds, because cats, like our little cat over there, Bob, if he tried to climb that tree, he couldn't get to the birds. So we've got the little bird box up there. And then we've also got the bee post made by a company called Niche. Dom, who we met earlier in the week, made these, and we've got 3 of them. So they've got little holes in them, so the solitary bees can go in and nest in the bee posts. And then here we've got antirrhinums. This is antirrhinum. One's called Costa and one's called Apple Blossom. That's the Apple Blossom, and I think this one's called Costa. We've got more echinacea here, and this is Limonium status, Limonium sawarii, which is also known as rat's tail status. And here we've got it just next to this Pittosporum nanum. We've got more edibles here, tomatoes, parsley and aubergine, which is just starting to form a little aubergine there. tomatoes. That's Tom Thumb, sort of sprawling tomato. And then here we've got the straw flowers. So it's been lovely just watching the straw flowers open up throughout the course of the week. We've got salmon rose, silvery rose, and then white heliochrysums. And then the other thing I haven't mentioned is the drumstick alliums, loved by the bees, as you can see. And the echinacea, this is Echinacea magnus. So I just wanted to capture all of this before we're going to be starting the deconstruction of the garden. And this is Salvia nemorosa caradonna. So I think that's everything, so that's it. And the deconstruction is well underway. In fact, we've got most things out. Some things haven't got pots, so Alistair's got held up with his van. He's had a few van problems, which has meant that we should have our high vis on and we should have our work clothes on, but we haven't got either. So we're doing it in, I've got white jeans on, Livy's got a white dress and bare hands, so that's fun. We're covered in mud, but never mind. So Al's on his way, and then when he gets here we can load up and get all this back home. Didn't take very long at all, actually. And so for the last time, thank you very much for watching from the Tatton Flower Show. Join us again in the next video.
See you later.
Bye for now.
Bye bye.